It began with a small shift on our world. At first, people noticed the moon looked brighter and slightly larger, but no one gave it much thought. The moon was influencing tides across the globe, and water spilled over onto beaches, yet it wasn't a disaster. Plenty of fish drifted near the shoreline, and people spotted giant squid, anglerfish, and other creatures close to the coast, even though these species normally live in the darkest depths. Strange new events kept unfolding day after day. Birds stopped migrating south for winter. Instead, they gathered in massive flocks, circling cities aimlessly. The moon once guided their navigation, and now they couldn't tell which direction to fly. Out across the endless waters of the world's oceans, ship captains realized their compasses had gone haywire, the needle spinning in every direction because Earth's magnetic poles had shifted. People began to understand that the moon was drawing nearer to Earth for reasons unknown. Its gravitational pull was altering our planet's own gravity, triggering shifts in weather patterns, the behavior of every living creature, and the magnetic field. Rain now fell in the most parched regions, and heat scorched the coldest lands. Ecosystems everywhere were being thrown into disarray. Residents near forests heard wolves howling non-stop as the moon was pushing these animals into madness. Earth's natural companion kept expanding and lit up the night sky far more intensely. Still, nothing catastrophic had happened yet, so people avoided panic, refusing to accept that doom was approaching. But then, one day, the moon crossed a tipping point. Picture yourself walking along a street, earbuds in, and suddenly someone bumps into you. Maybe he's just running late for work. You keep walking, and a woman brushes your shoulder. "Sorry," she mutters and hurries off. You catch a glimpse of terror in her eyes. Looking ahead, you see a crowd sprinting toward you. You pull off your headphones and hear shrieking and sirens. Drivers abandon their vehicles and flee. Hundreds of gulls swirl overhead. Amid the chaos, you pick out an unfamiliar sound, one that resembles rushing water. How could that be? You're standing downtown, several miles from the coastline, but there's no moment to reason it out. A massive wave appears, submerging the streets and rushing straight toward you. You dash into a nearby building and climb to the 10th floor. From there, you watch the water swallow the city. The powerful current sweeps away vehicles, single-story structures, and trees. You spot a shark and other fish swimming through the flood. People take shelter inside houses and on rooftops. The entire city is spiraling rapidly into ruin. A television still runs inside the building where you're hiding, and you discover that flooding is happening everywhere on the planet. Enormous tsunamis are burying coastal cities. In some regions, waves tower as high as a 30-story building. Countless towns have been wiped from existence. The moon has drawn too close to Earth, and these overwhelming floods are merely the opening chapter. The moon orbits Earth and helps anchor our planet on its axis. It provides stability to our climate and supports the growth of living organisms. But that balance has now shattered. As the moon draws nearer, it's reshaping our planet's gravitational pull, causing Earth to tilt slightly, which is sparking enormous floods worldwide. Picture holding a circular glass filled with water. Tip it just a bit and watch the liquid shift from one edge to the other. The same thing is now happening to our oceans. But the moon isn't merely approaching us, it's circling the planet, inching closer with every orbit, unleashing natural disasters across different regions constantly. One side of the ocean floods, and hours later another side does. So the water eventually retreats from the streets back to the sea, but by day's end, the ocean might surge back into the city once more. Actually, wait, it seems the day has already ended. You notice the sky has darkened, which is odd since it's only 3 p.m. The moon is altering Earth's spin rate, making days pass more quickly. It now covers almost the whole sky and casts a brilliant glow across our world. You can make out huge lunar craters. It's so near that you can still see it even while the sun shines, and in certain spots, the passing moon blocks out the sun entirely. As the floodwater drains from the streets, everyone heads back outdoors. At that exact moment, an earthquake strikes. The pavement splits apart, buildings crumble, and landslides tear through the streets. Tectonic plates are shifting across the entire globe. Picture two magnetized spheres drawing toward one another, one representing the moon and the other Earth's core. What do you suppose happens to everything sitting above that core, hundreds of thousands of miles of the planet's crust, now all set into motion? Devastating fractures are forming everywhere on the planet. The tallest mountains crumble into heaps of rubble. The ocean floor splits open, releasing molten rock from far below. Volcanoes awaken and erupt, and clouds of ash blot out both the sun and the glowing moon. Yet the most terrifying part is still to come. A collision seems unavoidable. The moon circles the planet like a ball spinning inside a round glass with an opening at its center. This force pushes clouds across the entire planet, so one moment there's a thunderstorm, and 5 minutes later it's snowing. Then night falls and rain begins, droplets made of mud and volcanic ash. Breathing becomes difficult without gas masks. Atmospheric pressure keeps fluctuating. Some people suffer intense headaches, and others feel their joints aching. But there's no time left to worry about your health. Humanity must figure out how to save itself from the impending crash. A new gravitational order will take hold once the moon strikes Earth. Continents will reshape themselves, either merging into one enormous landmass or fragmenting into 100 smaller ones. The energy released by the crash could burn away all the oxygen in the atmosphere, rendering the planet uninhabitable. Hiding underground offers no protection either, given the deep earthquakes rattling the ground.
Happily ever after.
People choose to spend their final hours alongside loved ones and family. The moon keeps closing in, now sitting at roughly the same distance as the International Space Station. It blankets the sky, plunging many cities into shadow because of the waves. Tsunamis rising several miles high crash down onto the Earth. Millions of tons of molten rock collide with the ocean, and billions of gallons of water simply evaporate. Moisture climbs into the air, blends with ash, and pours back down onto the land as towering storm clouds. You've come to terms with the planet's total destruction, but then something odd happens to the moon. Giant fissures appear across its surface. It slowly starts splitting into two pieces, and both halves shatter into hundreds of large fragments. It's simply falling apart. Earth no longer has a natural satellite, just a scattered pile of massive space rocks. But why is this happening? There exists a zone around our planet called the Roche limit, a region where Earth's gravitational pull overpowers that of the moon. This means the forces binding the moon together are weaker than the forces tearing it apart. People rejoice. The Roche limit has rescued the planet. The moon won't strike us. Instead, it disintegrates into millions of fragments and forms a ring encircling our world. Earth now resembles Saturn, wrapped in a belt of lunar debris. Massive chunks obliterate everything in their path. All the orbiting equipment and satellites stop functioning. Humanity loses its systems of communication and navigation, forcing people to rely on paper maps once again. The moon used to keep our planet's orbit fixed at a specific angle, but now that axis has shifted. One hemisphere edges closer to the sun, while the other sinks into darkness. The North Pole and Arctic region could turn into scorching deserts, while the planet's equator might become blanketed in ice. Winter and summer seasons could each stretch on for years. The moon's remnants continue circling Earth, but some pieces eventually fall to the planet's surface. Lunar meteor showers wipe out cities and carve massive craters into the ground. All of these events combine to bring about the widespread destruction of life on Earth. It will take hundreds of thousands of years for the world to adapt to this new reality.